Hey guys, NJ here, and we have a couple of new bits that have come over from BetaFPV. Now, a while ago, you'll know I gave you my thoughts on the 85X. I have been running this pretty much exclusively on 4S, even though there were some problems with running this on 4S, which resulted in some smoke into ESCs for some people. When it came down to it, BetaFPV responded. They did a whole bunch of testing, I mean loads of testing on these, and they seemed to think it was down to some boards having problems rather than others, but the conclusion of all of that was to say there's a maximum of 3S use on this quad. I didn't have a problem with this on 4S, as I said, and I've put absolutely tons of packs on 4S through it, and it's been fine. Although I did make a remark to them, which I thought that their PIDs were far too high to start with, because this has a D-Shot 1200 speed controller on it, and I think a 32-bit ESC with very high PIDs and 6000 kV motors on 4S is obviously going to be asking for fire. So the much lower PIDs I used worked great for me. You check my old videos if you want to see flight footage of that, but it flew fantastically, still does fly fantastically. One of the things I changed was I printed, this is over on Thingiverse, I printed a different canopy for this, because the original one, despite looking like you would have some availability for changing the angle of the camera of the turtles that's in here, because this is the HD variant, it couldn't, whereas this new one that I've printed out of PETG works absolutely fine for setting a variety of camera angles, so that worked out great for me. Although after printing in this, it does add a couple of grams over the stock one. Doesn't make no great shakes on 4S anyway, certainly didn't seem to affect it. Now with this particular model, one thing they did do was the ESC board and the flight controller were separate in this particular model. Now I actually have the guts of my old one that died in it crashed. I turtle flipped it but didn't see or hear, believe it or not, a tractor coming, and it ran it over. See if I can insert a little bit of that if you want to laugh. But this was the new one they sent over to me, but I still have the guts of the old one, so I can show you what that looks like inside. And the ESC board was under here like that, and it had a couple of block mounts here to pins on the flight controller, which sat on top, and you can see those just come apart. Sadly, both of these parts died a death when they were run over, but the other bits like the XM Plus and the VTX, that was fine. The LED board was fine, so I'm going to pull all of the bits off of this. These two bits are toast, and I'm going to instead put in this, which was the focus of all of this, what I was trying to get to, which is their new solution. Now this is something that they're looking to bring out. Now this isn't all-in-one, but it is rated to 4S, still 12 amps burst 15, this time D-Shot 600, which I think is a much more sensible decision for something this small. I think it's a Maytech F411 that's basically in here. It has the OSD and all the good stuff we're used to. So yeah, I'm going to be putting this in to replace both of these boards, so hopefully we'll lose a few grams. Hopefully, I'm not sure it will be much more than that, because obviously I've got a lot more components on one board here. It looks pretty good from what I can tell. Lots of capacitors stuffed all over it, which is obviously something that I like to see on any all-in-one or any ESC board, really, to try and do something towards taking care of that motor noise. So yeah, we'll be loading that in. Now what I have also here is another frame for the 85X, so I think I've actually got everything I need. Let me just try and grab this out of here. I think I have everything I need to build up a second one with this all-in-one board, and you can see with this 85 frame, let me think, the back is here where the LED board goes, so, and the back is where the USB is on that, so it'll go in this way round and slot in like so. I got this right, bear with me, it should all go in. Yes, there we go. So you can see that will fit in. It does actually have in here the gummies that you need and the mounting hardware. So we'll have the all-in-one board there, the motor plugs are there. The other thing they have sent me to go along with this, which I was also they weren't initially going to send me it, but I said, well, have you got new motors to match with the 4S, you know, because The original motors were 1105 6000 kV, and really, you know, that's certainly something I mentioned to them, and whether they listened to me or whether they already had it in the pipeline, was to go with a lower kV motor. A 5000 kV would be much more suitable. And in here, these are their new prototype motor, and they are exactly that. They are the by all accounts I can see, they seem to be pretty much identical to the other motors that they were using, the 1106. It's just that the 1105, sorry, it's just that these are a 5000 kV instead of 6000 kV, so much more suited to 4S setup. So I'm going to load these guys into this as well. I do have, which I'm pretty confident has survived from the crash of the last one, a spare turtle, so that will go into, I'm going to print another one of these canopies off because I like the way that worked. Going to chuck the turtles in, and we're basically going to build an 85X HD out of these new parts. So the slightly lower kV, better 4S suited prototype motor from BetaFPV, their new flight controller, which is an all-in-one, so hopefully will shed a little bit of weight from using the two separates, and fingers crossed we should have a properly rated 4S Beta 85X HD. So what I'm building here is probably what's going to be the version 2 of this that is certified as proper 4S. So really it's just a little preview to show you these two things. If you've got any questions about it, chuck them in the comments. Really just a quick video to show you what I'm going to be building up. I should be doing this in the next couple of days, and of course I will get straight out, get some test flight footage and report back to the rest of you. So I hope you found that interesting. Please don't forget to continue to like and subscribe, and I shall catch you all in the next one.